In our study of harmony, we'll take our knowledge of melody and scales and build upon it. In fact, melody came first in Western music, and it wasn't until after hundreds of years of development that the system of chords and chord progressions was established. Chords essentially accompany and work underneath melodies and scales. If we say that melody is horizontal, then we can say that harmony, by contrast, is vertical. This is the general idea, although, as we'll see later, chords too can be broken up in time through the devices of arpeggios and broken chords. By the same token, we can say that the difference between harmony and melody is the difference between the simultaneous and the separate. When we hear a melody or scale without chordal support, we can often detect at least a tonal center and sometimes an implied chord progression. However, the addition of chord progressions brings so much more possibility to the game, and as composers gives us greater devices to take listeners on an emotional ride. Basically, once we add an additional note to a pitch, we have harmony, the coming together of two or more pitches. The term chord actually comes from the word accord. The big question is, do two pitches make a chord? Well, it's a little bit of a gray area because it often depends on context, but to establish a working definition, we can say that two or more notes sounding simultaneously makes a chord. And these two pitches should each have their own pitch class. In other words, they shouldn't simply be an octave apart. The reason I say it's a bit of a gray area is because two pitches, even played at the same time, are often analyzed as an interval rather than a chord. In these cases, they're thought of as diads. Still though, in the right instance, two notes can be enough to imply a chord. Most commonly though, we'll use three notes as the basic unit for our discussion of chords. These three-note chords, known as triads, are the foundation of Western harmony. They're the most common and the most used type of chords, and they traverse many musical genres from doo-wop to rock to African soukous to classical music. They're really all over the place. In the next video, we'll take a closer look at triads to see how they're constructed. Melody is horizontal and separate. Harmony is vertical and simultaneous. Harmony is the coming together of two or more pitches. A dyad is two pitches played at the same time, but analyzed as an interval.